guys, so I'm SyedaZaidi and today I'm going to be talking about 9.3 in geometric sequence and series. And in this topic, it's mostly about geometric stuff. Last time I talked about was 9.2 and I was talking about the arithmetic series. Now this is a little more different. It's geometric and it has a different formulas. It has different ways to solve sequences. So let's get started with the definitions and the reviews of the formulas. So now geometry series is basically the sum of all terms in an arithmetic sequence. So basically they are both kind of involved together, but they are in different ways on how to solve it though. Okay, they're not, it's not the same thing, but it's just different ways how to solve it. So the formulas you need to know is an equals to a1 r and then n minus 1. Now in this formula, it's kind of confusing because it's just like a1 r. What does that mean? But so basically a1 is the first n term, and then r would be the, okay, so basically you know how in the arithmetic topic, the common difference d was like, you know, the whole sequence and you find the common difference d, right, by subtracting. In this one you're gonna have to like divide them together and find the common ratio. So you see how this is the common difference, this is the common ratio. So it kind of makes sense because you're dividing this time instead of subtracting. In the last arithmetic topic we talked about was basically subtracting. So yeah, so in this part it's just the formula is an equals to a1 or n minus 1. So basically this formula is basically where you're gonna have to like, basically they give you like a1 and then common ratio, and then you're going to substitute those two things in the formula right here to find the equation. Just like we did last time in the arithmetic sequence, we used like the two things, like the a1 and like the d part, to find the formula of the order from the equation. So basically this other formula is kind of complex. It kind of, basically you need a question that involves the summation notation. If not, then I haven't really seen questions that don't involve summation notation in order to find the problem. Yeah, most of the time it's mostly summation notation. And so basically in this formula you're gonna have to substitute the summation notation in here and find the a1, find the formula or the equation, and then try substituting it to here. You will find, I will do one of the problems of this and you will see how this goes and how you solve it step by step. And this is basically the review of this geometry series. And so yeah, so let's get started with the problems. Okay, so this is the first problem of this topic, and this problem includes a sequence, and what we're going to do is that we're going to have to try finding the, we're gonna have to see if it's geometric or not. So basically, is it geometric, and what is the common ratio? If so, what is the R, which is common ratio? So basically, this part, last time you subtracted because it was arithmetic, right? But this one is, this topic is geometric, so that means we're going to divide them. So how do we divide this? Well, every time we're going to subtract or divide, we're going to have to go behind the other sum. So it's going to be like -3 divided by 6, 3/2 divided by -3, and so on, whatever. But this one is just 4 terms, so we're just going to be just doing 4 terms for now. Sometimes I just like move on just by doing 2 of them, but but in this case I'm going to do all of it so you guys know what I mean by that. Actually I might just do 2 because it's basically going to be geometric, since it looks kind of geometric, but in your notes you can like do all of it if you want to. So basically we're gonna have to -3, so basically it's -3 divided by 6, which equals to -1/2, and then 3/2 divided by negative, oh, okay. Okay, so this is gonna be a negative. This is gonna be what? Hold on, actually. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. But okay, anyways, so 3 over 2 divided by -3, it would be -1/2. And then we have -3 over 2 divided by 3 over 2. So let's see, do that again. Cross that out, it would be basically negative. It would be 1/2 again, actually. Actually, yeah, -1/2 again. Because there's negative right here, right? Okay, so it's basically all -1/2s. Now you see how each number, each problem has to be the same sum in order to same answer in order to make it geometric. So that means that this is geometric. Okay, so this is geometric. Oh, why did I do that? Okay, it's -1/2. So it is geometric, and now we have to find the common ratio. So the common ratio, we already found it because the common ratio is -1/2. So common R equals to -1/2, and this is basically your answers for this question. Okay, so in this problem, so it's the second problem, and this problem includes only just two things of information now to find the equation. Okay, so in this, so basically A1 and R are basically the things to substitute in a formula to find the equation of that. So basically they're asking for find the equation of that, of only these two things, just to find the equation just by these two informations. So basically now how do we substitute, or what's the first step? Now the first step is to identify where is A1 and R located in the formula. Now the formula we're going to be using in this problem is an equals to A1 R n minus 1. Now this is the formula I talked about last time previously in the video of how we can substitute. So well, A1 is 4, so an equals to 4, and then R equals to 2, so it'll just be, let's do parentheses 2, and then n minus 1. Now you don't put anything for n unless it gives you something to put for n. But in this step, okay, even if it gives you a n, the example if it's n equals to 2, even if it gives you n, you can't put it in yet, because first you're gonna have to solve the formula first and then substitute n in that equation that you find after solving for this. So don't substitute anything for n yet. Nothing. Even if it tells you to substitute for n, don't substitute it yet, because you're not finished with this problem yet. You're not finished at all. So first you're gonna have to finish this step first and then find the equation. So let's do that. So an is basically equal to, so 4 times 4 is 4 times 4. Okay, 4 times, yeah, okay. So I'm sorry about that. So it's 8, and then 2, and then n minus 1. Or actually it would just be n. My bad. So it will be equals to 8 times by 2, and then exponent of n. Now when you do find that part, what you're gonna do after is, now, okay, when you find the equation after the last part, the last step, then you can find the n. Now let's say, now this is how you find the equation for this problem, right? But let's say if I wanted to add, let's say n equals to 3, okay? So that means I'll have to substitute n, this n letter, to 3, okay? So it'll be 8, 2, and then 3. So you see how I'm substituting this for 3. So 8 times 2 is exponent by 3, which would be basically 64. And this is what you will get as the answer for finding the nth part. But for this problem that I'm doing right now, the original problem I did right now, is just finding the equation, not the nth part, because it didn't ask to find n. If it did find for n, it would say n equals to 7. Then you're gonna have to try solving it for n. But in this case, I'm just showing you how n looks like when you're substituting it in a formula. Okay? But for in this case, it's just the original equation or question it asked was just to find the equation, and that's all. So this is how you solve for this problem. Okay, so this problem involves the summation notation, and in this problem I talked about the formula that we're going to be using for the summation notation in this topic, the geometry series, and it is kind of very much complex at the ending part, but you will see how it goes by step when I show you. So the formula we're going to be using in this problem, as I previously talked about, is Sn equals to n a1 or n minus 1 or I minus 1 doesn't really matter. It could be n or I, and then equals to a1 1 minus r n and then 1 minus r. So this is how it look like as a formula. Sometimes actually you don't really have to involve this part at all, because you're basically already going to find it when you're solving into steps, but I just involve it just in case to tell you guys how it looks like when you're doing it. But the main part you're going to be substituting is the end of the equation, which is basically the reactant. Well, actually, sorry, the part you're going to be using is this part, okay? So in this part, you're going to be substituting now. So let's see what we can find from doing 16, 0 through what? So 1 through what, okay? Now in this problem, 16, let's try making a sequence of 1 through like 2. Well, okay, let's see. Well, it says just by finding 1, so that means 1 is the first starting point and 12 is the last part, right? So let's see what we can do here. So 1, because okay, so 1 minus 1, that means that this will equal to 0, so it's just 16 times 1 over 3, the exponent of 0, which will equal to, actually, hold on, let me just like add them together. Okay, let's try like doing this. So 16 times 1 over 3, 2 minus 1 equals to 1, so it's just that, and then plus 16, now let's try finding the last part, which is 12, okay? So like I said before, you don't have to like find the whole, like, you don't have to find all the terms until it ends with the 12 or 100 or a 9, okay? Just try finding the first part and the second part maybe if you want to, and then try finding the last part, which is the end term, which is the 12, okay? So 16, 1 over 3, and then 12 minus 1 equals to 11. It's kind of confusing because you're just like, why is it 11 if it's supposed to be 12? Well, in this part, you're actually subtracting n minus 1, so that's why it's kind of like you're basically subtracting, so 12 minus 1 equals 11. Now, this is what we found as the sequence. We're not going to try solving for them because, honestly, all we have to find is how it will look like in the formula, because you just have to use this part, but you could use the answers in order to find it. But this is how it looks like for now. This is what I do in my work. So yeah, okay. So now in order to substitute this, you're gonna have to do, okay, so a1, now a1 is 16, right? So a1 would be 16. So that means that this was actually equal to 16 right here. So 16, 1 minus 1 over 3, which is our n. So n meaning 12, by the way. So it's 12 right here. 12 right here. So we put 12 right here, and then 1 minus 1 over 3 as the original r. And when you do solve this, because okay, so negative 1 over 3 times by 12, okay. So honestly, so if you try solving in the calculator or by just, by originally, you will get the answer of 23.999, which will be equal to 24 if you round it. So this is how you solve for this problem. It's a little confusing when you get to it first, but it gets easier through by through, and this is how you solve for this problem.